In my town where I grew up, on the way to my school, there was a 90-degree blind curve on the route. I rode the school bus every morning, and on the way to school, the bus would slow way down by that blind curve and make the hard turn while all the kids' bodies kind of angled out and turned with the bus. And then we'd straighten back up. On the way home, we reversed the course, so we all did the same thing in the other direction. The driver knew that the blind turn was there, but there's no way to go through a curve like that at full speed. You have to adjust. When I got a little bit older and got my driver's license, my mom always worried about that curve. I had a summer job at the front desk of a hotel about 15 minutes away. And again, I had to take that road, the Klein Road curve, to get home. And my mom would say, I can never go to sleep until you're back in the house. I just hate the thought of you going around that curve. And I said, yeah, but I've been on that road my whole life. She said, yeah, but you work the B shift and you're coming home tired. You've got to plan for that curve. That curve on Klein Road is a pretty good metaphor for life. Life is like that. Our weaknesses and our struggles are like blind curves on a route that we know well. We're not confused about the route. It's just that all of us have blind curves on the route we're traveling. That Klein Road curve had 8 reflective arrow signs there. You know those black arrows on yellow signs? There were 8 of them. And even though there were 8, there were still always tire tracks into the cornfield. And at least 2 of those 8 signs were always bent at an awkward angle. Because when you have a curve like that, you've got to have both hands on the wheel. You've got to have your full attention there. You've got to brake before you get there. Because if you don't do it until you're there, it's too late. It means that when you're approaching that curve, it's not a good time to change the radio station or look down at your phone or try to find that M&M that you just dropped somewhere. No, even though you know the route well, you have to pay attention. You can't be distracted. We've got a lot of those blind curves in our life. They're the things that no matter how much we have had experience with them, still have the power to trip us up. And maybe it's anger. We can't get angry without saying things that we're going to regret. Maybe it's fear that gets its way with us, or it's insecurity of some kind. For some of us, it's overdoing it with food or drink, or it's getting irritable and mistreating people, or getting bored and winding up falling into bad habits. A lot of people in our community are connected to the 12 steps. And in the 12 steps, there's an acronym to remind people about blind curves. It's the word HALT. Never get too hungry, never get too angry, never get too lonely, never get too tired. If you let yourself do that, that's like approaching the Klein Road curve at full speed while looking for that M&M that you dropped somewhere. You have to account for those things. HALT is meant to be those yellow reflective signs with the arrows on them saying, be careful. Whenever you get too far down this road, you're likely to have a hard time navigating the turns. Tonight, we're going to smudge the cross on ourselves with ashes. We're going to leave here with this mark. And a lot of us mistakenly think that it's meant to be a sign for other people. Almost like, hey, it's Lent, didn't you realize? Or like, hey, we're from a cool religion, look at how great this is. But actually, the cross that we're going to get on our forehead is not for other people to see. It's for us to see. The real trick will be before you go to bed tonight, when you're in front of the bathroom mirror and you're not paying attention and you're washing your hands or doing something, getting your toothbrush, and then all of a sudden you look up and you go, whoa. It's to remind us that we have blind curves in our lives. It's like that same black arrow on the yellow reflective background. It's a reminder that there's some things in our lives that force us to slow way down, to put both hands on the wheel, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and get very focused. All of us have different things that fall into that category for us. For some of us, it's when we hear someone crack a beer, got to slow way down. For others of us, it's when someone brings up something political. Got to be real careful, especially these days. You think you're having a conversation and all of a sudden it turns into division. The thing about it is, all of us have taken our turn being in the cornfield by the Klein Road curve. There's a reason why those signs are bent, why there's always tire tracks into the field. Because even if you think that I know this route by heart, I don't have to worry, you could easily hit that curve way too fast. And if you do find yourself either in a bunch of corn stalks or maybe having made a whole bunch of dust around the curve and having been up on two wheels for part of the time and now being on the side of the road like, whew, whew. All of us have a chance to say, wait a minute, I'm a better driver than this. I know about that curve. That's my fault. I came at that way too fast. That was way too careless. This is way too dangerous a territory for me to be driving like that. That's basically what Lent is for us. It's like a 40-day defensive driving course. That's what we're here to learn for the next 40 days. How to brake effectively. How to adjust our mirrors. It's like our annual renewal of humility. And that's what it's meant to do for us. Sometimes I think about Father Liam Condon, our beloved retired priest who helps us out here. He lives in Luzerne. And I think about him every time I'm coming from Luzerne back to Glens Falls on Luzerne Road over West Mountain. You ever been on that road? Gosh, it's beautiful. But you can't change a radio station on that road. Switchback after switchback after switchback. That's what these next 40 days are all about. Being able to handle the kind of attention that's required of somebody who's got blind curves on their route like that. Because let's face it, these are our lives we're talking about. They deserve at least as much care and respect as driving on Luzerne Road.